Hello everyone, my name is Hector Mendoza. I want to explain how to use your editing features in Microsoft Office 365 Word. Okay, so um, if you go to your Home tab, then you have your group and editing features here. So here you have, find. Under find, you have, there's going to be find, advanced find, and go to, and I'll explain what those are. I'm going to explain how to find and replace, and then we're also going to talk about selecting all, selecting text with similar formatting, and selection pane. Okay, so let's start with find. So in a document, we're talking Word document. So in a Word document, I went and created just random text, and I put some objects, and then I threw some objects and put them out of order, and I'm going to show you how to rearrange them. I also created this page here. I have an object, and it's hard to select this object. I'm going to show you some real easy ways to select things. So let's talk about find. In Word, you can find, let's say, a particular word, and you want to change with something. And remember, this, I'm just going to use random words. So let's say I want to use a word like provide, okay? And I want to change provide in this whole document with give, okay? So let's say I didn't like the word provide. You can go in here, click on this icon here, right? You click on it, and this navigation is going to show up here on the left. Whatever you click here is going to find it. And if you notice right here, it found that word in every one of these sentences. Okay, now the reason that it automatically typed provide is because I had selected that. So let's say that I did not have that selected, right? And I'm right here, and I click here. Before selecting anything, I click here and I tell it I want to find the word provide. You see, it did the same thing, except that earlier I went in and selected the word. So here's something that you have to be very aware of. If I go in here and tell Microsoft Office to change the word provide, well, look, at the end of provide, you got to be careful, because if I put video gives, because if I replace this, remember there's going to be an extra S there. So you got to be real careful when you're doing search and find. So I'm going to show you. So let's put provides, okay, because we don't want to miss that S. So I go in here, and if you start like right here, let's say I start right here and I start replacing, and it's going to start from here and go all the way down in this whole document, and then eventually it'll ask if you want to start at the beginning. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to now replace with something. And remember, I said instead of provides, we're going to say gives, okay, or give. We just put give. So I'm going to click here and I can click on this thing, or I can click here, right? So it's already provided the word provides, because see, find what, we already told that. Now we're going to replace it with gives. Okay, And so I can individually replace. You see, it's selected this. So when I hit replace, watch, it's going to change it. You see, it changed it. Now it's down here, and I'm going to replace. I'm going to replace. Now, let's say I don't want to keep on hitting replace because I know I want to replace everything. All I have to do is replace here. Before I do this, let me reduce this so you can see more than one page. Okay, so right, you'll see where it is highlighted, which is right here. So we have this page, and this page. Now I'm going to tell to replace all. Watch what it does. It found 25 instances from here down, right? Now it went to the top, okay? And I can hit, because look, it found another. Okay, well, that was it. It actually replaced everything. So you can go ahead and do another search to make sure that replace is still not in there. So and it's no, and it's not. Okay, good. So that's how you do a search and replace. Now we can and we actually went to advanced find when we did that, because remember we told it to replace. Okay, so now let me show you how to find and replace things that you can't even see. Okay, for instance, if I click here, it's going to show me all the paragraph marks or hidden formatting symbols. So I have a video on this just specifically for this right here. So let me show you what we're talking about. This is a paragraph mark, and they're real easy to tell what a paragraph mark looks like, which is this thing right here, right? Now let's say that you have a soft return. If I click here, I'm gonna do a soft return so you can see what a soft return looks like. So I'm gonna hit Shift Enter. You see right in here, this is called a soft return. And with a soft return, it's different than a return. If you notice, my leading, which is a spacing between sentences, didn't change here, even though I put a soft return. Now look here, I'm going to put a hard return. Watch what happens between the space between this line and this line when I put a hard return. The spacing changed a little. Okay, well, excuse me, that one already had a no, it didn't. Okay, so let me see. So if I put a return, yeah, you saw the space, it changed it a little bit. Okay, sometimes it changes it a lot, but I wanted to show you the difference between a soft return, which is this, and this is a hard return. Now let me show you some other characters that are hidden that you don't ever see. You have a square box, then on the beginning of a that tells you that there's some formatting going on there. Okay, so if you notice, if you ever want to find a format and you don't know if it's a regular text or a formatted text, if you click, you'll see that those squares. Okay, now let me show you what a tab looks like. Okay, so a tab would look like this. Every single one of them are tabs. A space will look like this. A space in between words will look like a small little dot. So if you look in between each character, in between each word, you'll see a space. Okay. Now, let me see what other characters that are kind of important. Tabs. Okay, those are your main ones. There's a lot more, but I just want you to be aware of those. So now, if you get a document, and that document comes in like this, then you have a choice. You could go in here and click here, click and drag and put a space, click and drag, and then, but you see right here, you got to be careful because you might miss that one, right? And so that could take forever. What you can do, and you're going to see a lot of this when you're copying and pasting from Excel, from the internet, InDesign, Illustrator, Corel Draw, PageMaker, all kinds of programs. You have, it might look like this. Okay, so if you wanted to remove those tabs and replace it with a space, so you see it's hard to read the sentence, right? So I'm going to hit Ctrl F, or I can click here and go to find. Ctrl F, guys, is universal for almost any kind of program. Almost every program has a find function within its documents, or you can find documents with Ctrl F, or you can get on the internet and find things. But this is Word, so we're not. I really shouldn't have jumped into that because we're teaching Word. Okay, so or you can go straight to Advanced Find. Either way, you're going to get to it. So if you click Find, it's going to get to this, right? If you go to Find and just go straight to Advanced Find, what it's going to do, it's going to go to this dialog box, which is the same as clicking here and going to Advanced Find. There's a lot of ways to get around this stuff. So now, this is a little tricky. It's really not. It's real simple. But let's say I want to find tabs. I mean, those tabs, right? Now, this is where it gets tricky. So I'm going to start here in this area. You see right here, I want to find all my tabs and replace them with spaces. So if I click here, you see right here, special. Here, let me move this up. If I go in here and tell it special, I want to look for the tab character. Those are your tabs, okay? And if I click here with space, right now it would replace every one of those with gives. So let's replace it with I want to just hit my space bar. You can't see the characters here. Special character, because I hit the space bar. Okay, now watch what happens. If I hit replace, remember, look, there's a tab right there, replace. It changed it to that little dot right here. I'm gonna hit replace, and I keep on going, or I can just tell it replace all. But you got to be careful, because when you tell it all, it's going to select everything and replace everything it sees a tab. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see, click insert and then choose the element. Now it's starting to look like a real sentence, right? So I'm going to tell it replace all. Now you see, it says all done. We made 62 replacements. So you hit OK. Now it's a sentence, right? So, and there's really a lot more to it than that. This is just the basics. I could talk about this probably for 4 hours, but I'm just showing you the basics. It's some real cool stuff that Word does. Okay, so we've talked about find, we talked about advance. Now this thing that says go to, I'll tell you what that is. So right now we have this many pages, right? So let's go ahead and add a bunch of pages here. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Now we got a bunch of pages, right? So let's say that I am talking to a colleague or a friend, and they say, hey man, here, you know what, that doesn't even have a lot of pages here, so let's go in here and add a bunch of pages. Okay, so we just added a bunch of pages. Okay, so we're on page number 28 of 28. This is how you can tell where you're at. You're talking to a friend over the phone. He said, I know, but look, dude, go to page 20 and you have a bunch of mistakes there. And that could be very true, because I'm not a good speller and I don't pretend like I am. So I would believe him. So all I have to do is hit, well, let me show you the pull down menu, because I normally use nothing but commands, but not everybody uses commands. So if I go in here and hit find and go to, is the same thing as hitting Ctrl G. And all you have to do is type, like he said, 20, right? So you just hit is 20, enter. Now you are on page 20. Okay, you can see that we're on page 20. And so if you're looking at 2 pages, you say, well, which one is page 20? If you're using view guides, which is this part right here, then you know that this is page 20 because you're seeing your guides on page 20. So look, if I click on page 19, look at this guides. If I click there, all of a sudden my guides are there. That's how you can tell what page you're in looking down here when you're using double page or multi. This is called multi-view. Okay, so now we've talked about find, advanced find, and there's more to it than on advanced find. Go to, let me see, now let's do another thing. Let's go and talk about select objects. Okay, so let's go in here and go to where there's objects. Now you see how I navigate. I reduce this real small. If I click on anything, a word, a sentence, anything I want, and I hold my control key and I use my mouse arrow and go up, it's gonna, whatever I have selected is gonna try to put it in the center or to the left of my document. Okay, so I didn't have to go enlarging the document, going up, and that I have a lot of lessons about that too. So, okay, now here's your objects. So sometimes you might draw an object, and you might put that object. So let's say you draw a clear object. Instead of it being painted, you told it, I don't want borders and I don't want it filled inside. And there's reasons for that, but that's another lesson. And you can't find it. So right now you can see this one's here because it's obvious, right? And I can select them. Now look at this one here. I was lucky that I could select it. Normally you can't select it when it's behind text. Oh, I know why. It's because of the layer that I have it in. So normally when you create something and you put it behind text, normally you can't select it. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make those selections when you can't. Okay, so another thing, you see this right here? This thing is out of order. So basically what I wanted was, I wanted to place a box, then the red one, then the orange one, then the white one, then the light green, and it would look all uniform. I'm going to show you how to rearrange it, how to rearrange objects. So while this is selected, so you see right now now I can't select that. Okay, and the reason I was able to select it because I went in here and told this thing select objects. That's why I was able to select that object. If you wouldn't have gone in here and selected that, then you wouldn't be able to make alterations to it. Okay, so for instance, I'm sitting here, I'm doing text. Right now, here, let's go in here and I'm going to escape, and so I can use text, right? And I come in here. You see, I should have selected it. And I try to select that diamond. It doesn't let me, no matter what I do, right? The reason I was able to select it is because earlier I went to select objects. That's what the select object means, that it will ignore your words, your sentences, and you're able to select what's behind there. Okay, so now at that point you could bring this to the front. Oh, we hadn't even started talking about that. Let me show you where you get that. So I showed you how to select objects, and another thing that when you hit select objects, if there's a hidden object, it will find it for you, and it's not find. Oh, here, if you go in here, select Pane. Now it's going to bring this different dialog box here, right? And let me show you what this does. First, we'll start here. Okay, so if you look to the right, it tells you what this one is. This is like rectangle 2. This is your triangle. This is your oval 7. Let's say I want oval 7 on top of my triangle. You can right click. You can tell it, bring front. So you can tell it bring forward. And that doesn't mean it's going to take it all the way to the top of this. It's going to bring it, it's going to incrementally bring it up. So let's see what happens. If I hit bring forward, because there's nothing else in between there, it went ahead and did it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to send this all the way to the back. Okay, send to the back. Now, this is in the back. Then we have this one, and then we have this one. Remember when we were talking about incremental inching it up? Now, I'm going to put this right in between both of those. So if I right click, I tell it bring forward. You see, and this might take a while to do this. So you keep on hitting bring forward until, look down here what it's doing. Bring forward. So look right now where it's at on the right hand side. I'm going to put it by going to bring front. It's going to put it in top of rectangle 2. Oh no, I told it to bring all the way to the front. Excuse me. Bring forward. Okay, it moved it up. Now it's in between both of those. So another way to rearrange these objects is, so you see this red box? I don't want to hit bring forward, bring forward, bring forward. I want to bring this all the way to the top. And I can do that because I know that this is my triangle, right? And if I look here, this is number 8. So if I click here, left click, and just move this up, it moves it up in the order that I want. Okay, so same thing here. So you see, this looks good, but there's an orange one here that needs to be in front of the red one, right? So the red one, so look, so this is number 10. Then what I'm going to do is I want to make sure I have the red one right on top of the number 10, which that's what it should look like. Now you see it's starting to look like a staircase. Then the orange one I want on top of the red one. And another thing you can do to make it easier, so you have your rectangles. So here's rectangle 10, right? I can double click here and then call it rectangle blue. Okay, so this is rectangle red, right? This is rectangle orange. So the next, and this is yellow, of course. So now we have this little light, green. I want that on top of the yellow one. Okay, which I didn't here, let me label this one yellow. Now yellow was on top of the orange. I spelled orange wrong. I told you my spelling ain't worth it. Okay, so now look, it's starting to look like they're all even, right? Now here, this is the light blue. And the light blue is on top of the light, so we're going to move this right there. Actually, it needs to go right in there. Okay, you see, now it's starting to look like I wanted it. You see, but that's one way of moving stuff around. Okay, let me see what else. Selecting Pane, selecting text. Let me see. Let me look at my document. Okay, so one last thing on search and find. You can go in here. I want to select. Yeah, let's go here. Okay, so I'm gonna select this kind of formatting, and I got another Word document that teaches about formatting. Okay, so if you don't know what formatting is, you might want to look at that video. So this is a particular kind of formatting that I have. I can go and tell Microsoft Word to select everything that has this exact format. So look, I'm gonna reduce my view so you can see a bunch of pages, and then on the selection I'm gonna go to select Pane. Excuse me. I want to go to advanced find, and on advanced find I can go in here and tell it to find format, and there's all kinds of formats that you can find. For this particular one, I want to find paragraph. Okay, and so since it's selected and I go to that advanced find, you see how it found that same advanced find. I tell it format paragraph and hit OK and find next. You see right in here it found that one. You see, find next. You see, it's finding that same format, but that's how you can find formats. Other think that's basically, there's a lot more to this. Oh, select all. Okay, so you can go in here, select, you can select find words, or you can select everything in this whole document, right? It's Ctrl A, but if you click here and you tell it select all, you're gonna see everything selected. You see, it selected everything. I'm talking boxes, everything in this whole document, right? Or you can just hit Ctrl A, is the same thing. Well, thank you for watching my video. There's a lot more to it than that. This is just the basic part of finding and replacing. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, or I hope you are one of my subscribers. Thank you.